Hello, all you Conan Exile fans out there. It's Granny Gamester here, and today I would like to talk about my thoughts on 3.0, the update for Conan Exiles, which was released last Tuesday, I believe it was. And yeah, it took me a few days to digest everything and come to terms with a few things. So yeah, let's get right to it. Now, monetizing the game has been a big controversy among fans, in my opinion, from what I've heard so far. But from what the dev says, and I did watch their update, live update stream a couple of times. And they say nothing is locked behind a paywall. And I think that what that really means is that you do not have to pay for anything in the game to successfully play the game. It doesn't mean that there aren't things locked behind a wall, because there are. But in order for you to play and enjoy the game, no, there is not. You can simply play the game without paying another single dime if you so choose. So the only thing that you is going to be behind money is novelties, cosmetics, decorations. All those will be in what they're calling the Battle Pass. Now, this does cost money to purchase, so therefore it is behind a paywall in my estimation, and that cost for that is yet to be determined. So the reality is Funcom needs to make money to pay employees and cover overhead, etc., 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 to keep this game going and to keep adding new things and keep making it fresh and new. To keep their employees to, do the bug fixes and whatever else they need to do to the game. So as fans of Conan Exiles, I just think we need to support Funcom in some fashion to keep new content coming. They happen to choose the Battle Pass as a way to do this instead of DLCs. So let's take a look at the Battle Pass. So the Battle Pass, as I understand it now, I could have some things wrong, and if I do, I'm sure you will all let me know in the comments, and I wished you would. So again, Funcom needs to make money to offer more content for the game at a faster rate. Again, no paywalls. They will not sell power, only novelties, like, decorations and those kinds of things, building pieces. No need to buy anything if you don't want to. And of course, as always, they couldn't stress enough, it is a work in progress, which I do believe. I don't think they've ironed out all of those details, and I don't think they will until they get a lot of feedback from their fans. So I'm going to try to explain the Battle Pass as much as I can here, as much as I can understand it. Now, the Battle Pass is going to have ages to it. Now, the first one that they're presenting to us is the Age of Sorcery. So each age will have 3 chapters with new novelties to buy and new challenges to do and new lores. Now, there will be lores with each page of the Battle Pass, and as you learn the lore, you gain more knowledge to read the runes. Now, I'm not quite sure what that means. There are runes associated with some of the sorcery, but I don't know if those two are connected. Now, Battle Pass will be updated every 90 days or 3 months. So all of these chapters, etc., and all the new items to be bought during this Age of Sorcery will be covered in 90 days. That's my understanding, or 3 months. Now, they say you will be able to level up your Battle Pass with challenges. And these challenges give experience and levels. So as you progress through the Battle Pass challenges, you gain levels in the Battle Pass. Now, as you progress in the levels, you can gain rewards. Now, there are 60 rewards in the Battle Pass, and these rewards are in the form of, building pieces, maybe some type of armor, but the armor will never be stronger than what's in the game normally. They're just in addition to. So probably there will be some armor that will have something to do with the sorcery, maybe something along that line. Yeah, there'll be 60 rewards in all in the battle pass, and if you don't own the battle pass, you can still get 12 of those rewards for free. Yeah. So, they're at least they're giving you 12 free out of that without buying a thing. But owning the battle pass lets you claim all the rewards at no additional cost by doing challenges. Now, I looked at some of these challenges and they're pretty simple. You can do these just by playing the game. Yeah, basically. So there is also a premium battle pass that creates an additional 15 levels to the battle pass. Now, what that entails, I don't know. It probably means some kind of special items that you can get. I don't know. That's some of the things I don't think have been ironed out. They may or may not keep that. Who knows? So if you don't want to do the challenges to gain XP, you can purchase Crom coins to buy the levels with. Now, some might call this a money grab thing. Could be. I don't know. And again, there's no prices on any of this yet. And then there's going to be levels. Oh, levels require 1,000 experience points to complete. So every 24 hours, you get multipliers on your XP challenges. So all the XPs that you get on a challenge, it can be multiplied by a certain number. Some of them are 2, some of them are 5, whatever. And once you use those multipliers for that challenge, you can still do the challenges as many times as you want, but you just won't get the multiplier again. So it's in your best interest to do it while the multipliers are up there. Now, the Battle Pass levels can be entirely completed by doing challenges. You gain Crom points as you progress, so it's possible to gain all the Crom coins you need to purchase the next chapter in the Battle Pass. Yeah, pretty cool. So you don't have to buy it if you don't want to, but you can also spend those Crom coins in the shop, and I'll talk about the bazaar a little later. So you have a choice to either hang on to those Crom coins and get your next Battle Pass chapter free, or you can buy your next Battle Pass, one or the other, or next chapter in your Battle Pass. So you can expect to play 2 hours of normal gameplay a week to complete the Battle Pass chapter challenges. And challenges can be completed as you play the game normally. And that I believe, because I looked at a few of them. And yeah, it's things like gathering silver maybe, or gathering so many stones, or, simple things like that you would normally do in the game anyway. But if you don't happen to like the challenge that you got, you can re-roll it. Yeah. So that's pretty handy. Say there's a challenge I just don't feel like doing that day. Yeah, I can just roll it over, and I can do that 3 times in a day, and it'll give me 5 more new challenges to choose from. So yeah, my question is how much will the Battle Pass cost in comparison to purchasing a DLC? Yeah. Costing is okay with me as long as it's not crazy expensive. I realize compared to what they're offering for the Battle Pass, DLCs had a lot less, so you can expect it to be more, but just how much more remains to be seen. So yeah, let's talk about the new features in the game. Now, there will be wall sprays. They talked about that to make images on your walls, and that will be available in the Dyer's Bench. Yeah, those will be really cool. And I noticed that was, I think, a free item in the Battle Pass. So whether you get the Battle Pass or not, I think that item is free. There's also going to be items illusions. Now, this is where they're going to have a bench called the Thaumaturgy bench. I don't know why they picked such a difficult name there, but anyway, where you can make a weapon look like another weapon, but it has to be the same type of weapon. In other words, you have to use an axe to change it to a different kind of axe or a different look of an axe. And it also has to be something that you already know how to craft. So, and there will also be illusionary items in the shop and the battle pass that you can use in this bench. So that sounds like a little bit of fun. Yeah. And then there is the shop, and it's going to be called the Black Lotus Bazaar. So it's actually bazaar. And everything available in the bazaar has a timer on it. So it only lasts so long and then it will rotate. So the items in the bazaar are not going to be in the battle pass. They're all totally different. And again, they will rotate in and out. So after they are up there for, I don't know, say 3 or 4 hours or whatever, it'll change out to something else. But they'll keep rotating. So you won't miss out on getting it. You just might not get it at that specific moment. But it will show up again. And they will not sell power items again, so all weapons and armor will have similar stats to the in-game items, so there's no advantage to buying any of these. And all items are novelty or fun items to have, mostly decorating and that sort of thing, building. So there will also be on sale items in the shop. And there will also be a few items that are one use only. Yeah, I guess there's some potions or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But there are some items that you will only be able to use once you get them from the bazaar. And then that's it. So, well, all right, let's get on to sorcery. Yeah. Sorcery is not going to replace melee combat. And I can't tell you how pleased I am about the way Funcom went about this. I'm so pleased because I did not want sorcery to be shooting magic fireballs and magic icicles and that kind of thing. I did not want it to be a kind of combat thing. And as they explained it, it's an evil, dark art. And they did it very well in my estimation. So there will be evil or sorcerers dotted throughout the map. And if you kill one, you will find a mysterious map. And this map will lead you to find a very old tome. Now, the tome will contain power that is the essence of a corrupted power. That allows you to cast a spell or perform rituals. When you read the tome, you are actually learning a language called words of power. Now, the more words of power you learn, you can unlock more spells. So they didn't go into any more detail than that, but boy, that has got me hooked already. Yeah. Yeah. Can you just, yeah, going around looking for these these evil sorcerers out in the world and doing them in. Yeah. So corruption is also connected to sorcery. Each level of corruption allows you to cast different spells. So the more corrupted you are, the more different spells you're going to be able to cast. And the more corrupted you are, the more powerful spell you're going to cast. Now, this is giving corruption a whole new feel in the game. Yeah. And it's very, very exciting in my opinion. So having high levels of corruption causes your character to have very visible changes to your character. In other words, they look decayed and gaunt and pale and their veins are popping out and you look quite ugly. The one that they showed, yeah, he looks pretty ugly. But they were kind enough to also include a spell that will let you hide that corrupted look if you want to, which is a good idea because it was pretty bad. So, and next we have attributes, perks. So the attributes have changed quite a bit and all to the better. So yeah, there was quite the talk amongst the community about the attributes no longer spelling savage, so they corrected that. So now S stands for strength, A stands for agility, V for vitality, A stands now for authority, G for grit, and then E is now going to stand for expertise. They did get rid of survival as one of your attribute perks. Now, each point now will give you 1 point in perks. So now it's very, very easy to understand. If you earn 1 point by leveling up for your attributes, it's going to cost you 1 point in your perks. It's just condensed and just easier, in my opinion. So to max out each attribute, you actually need 20 attribute points. So you will still have a level 60 with your character, but now you get 1 point for each attribute that you want to do. So at level 10 and 20, you get 10 plus and 20 points for each attribute. You will now have 2 perks to choose from. So that means when you reach level 10 in your attributes, let me say this a little plainer here, you will get 2 different perks to choose from now. It's not just one perk when you get to the level 10 in your attributes, and the same with level 10 or 20 in your attribute perks. Once you reach level 20, you can choose between 2 different attributes. So that's going to be awesome, because that's going to allow you to build your character in so many more different ways. Yeah, because now you get to choose between 2 different attributes, and you can go through all these attributes: strength, agility, vitality, authority, grit, and expertise, and decide which one of those 2 that you want, which one of those 2 is going to go with the build that you're trying to achieve. Yeah, it's just going to be wonderful. I'm excited about that one, really. And then weapons and armor will no longer add perks to your attributes. Yeah, so armor will no longer have a strength perk or a accuracy. No, there is no accuracy. Agility perk or anything like that anymore. Now it's just added into your perks directly through your weapons and armor. So that's pretty nice. That makes it simple. It really does. You don't have to go looking through this chart before, like we had to do, to decide which armor is going to give you what perk, because they really didn't tell you. So that took care of that issue, in my opinion. So, and now weapons are placed in 2 categories. They're either a strength weapon or an agility weapon. So, of course, bows will be an agility weapon. So you can become a more powerful archer by increasing your agility. Yippee! I've been waiting for that, for them to make bows viable. Yeah. And I'm just very, very excited about this. There's lots more to learn in there, I'm sure. I didn't have a chance to look through all the perks. They only had a couple up there that you could really see. So that'll be exciting to go through all those and, build your character. Yeah, very, very nice. And then we come to our sorcery. Yeah, our spells and all that good stuff. So one of the first spells that they talked about was darkness spell. Now this causes darkness, and it casts a big shadow in this certain area. It doesn't tell you how many foundations really that this spell casts in, but it casts big spider webs on the ground too, which slows you down if you walk in them. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But you can also use torches to see through the darkness, and the darkness itself lasts for only a minute or 2. So some of these spells will actually stack and some don't. So like darkness and invisibility spell, those 2 can be stacked together. So you can cast darkness and then cast invisibility, so you can walk through the darkness in invisibility. They didn't say what other ones can be stacked, but they did mention that one. So then there's a lightning spell. Now that casts bolts of lightning, which is just awesome. So lightning comes out of the sky, hits the ground. It's kind of a chance thing whether it hits your enemy or not, I suspect. But again, that is much better than some kind of lightning coming out of your hand or out of, whatever, and aimed at your enemy. It's just, it's just more grounded. It's more Conan. So then there is the Call of the Dead. Now, this lets you conjure zombies to fight along your side. Now, it is my understanding that there will be at least 3 zombies that will, fight alongside you. They didn't say how long they'd last or any of that sort of thing, so that could be fun. Then there is the ice bridge spell. Now, this creates an ice bridge to cross chasms, and that was pretty awesome. It really is. You could do some fun searching around different places by having that available to do. Yeah. And it's also destructible, though, with weapons. Yeah. You can hit with a sword and break it down. And you can, yeah. So it's not indestructible if you're trying to reach an enemy base at, in PvP. Yeah. So it's not the end all be all for that. So then there is the detectory sorcery, and I like this one. This one shows where all your resources are. So if you cast this spell and you're in an area where there's a lot of minerals and you're looking for gold, yeah, this is going to be very, very helpful for that, especially in Isle of Sipta. Which I didn't mention too. This covers both maps, this update. Absolutely, yeah. So this is going to be particularly fun in Isle of Sipta, I think. So then, last but not least, is the demonic portals. Now, these are a huge boon, especially on maps. And this will work in any of the maps. This is what they said. So it will also work with Savage Wilds and any of those other kind of mon maps. So this is a personalized portal for fast travel system, and it's in addition to the map room. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, because in those maps, yeah, they are big and it is hard to get around as well, and they don't have the map room isn't as convenient in those maps as it is in the vanilla game. So yeah. So then we came to corruption in attributes. Yeah, so this is going to be super, super cool. So once you gain a certain amount of corruption on your character, and we all know how you get corruption, you are able to gain the ability to corrupt your perks. Yeah. So you need soul remnants in order to gain corruption in your perks, though. And they are gotten by putting a thrall in a sacrificial altar and harvesting their soul, which is referred to as a soul remnant. So 1 human sacrifice equals 1 soul remnant. So if you want to level up your corruption in your attributes, you need to have these soul remnants. And from what I understand, it's going to take, in order to hit your first perk in your attributes, you're going to need 4 soul remnants. Yeah. So you're going to be doing a lot of sacrificing on the altar, guys, if you're going for the corrupted sorcerer. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So once you corrupt your attributes, though, you lose the previous stats in that attribute. So in other words, if you're going to corrupt your character in strength, you're going to lose all your strength attributes that you have in there at the time that you do it. Yeah. And dancers will still remove corruption, but only if the corruption you have is not changed in your attributes. In other words, if you use that corruption and corrupt your attributes, that can't be removed. But if you have corruption on your bar, but not in your attributes, that portion of your corruption can be removed by the dancers. So you can, though, in the end, get rid of the corrupted attributes, but the only way to do that is by taking the potion that resets your attributes. Yeah, and then you just start all over again, which means that if you're going for a corruption a second time, you're going to have to do all the sacrificing all over again. Yeah. So make sure you know what you want and what you're doing, or it could be costly for you. So, all right, guys. So that is the corruption in attributes. It's awesome. And then they made, for all you builders out there, and on all of us actually, what they're calling the creative mode. Now, the entire building system you will now be able to access with a construction hammer, which is very cheap to make. Now, when you take this hammer out, in it will be categories where you can select building pieces, or you can select decorations, or you can select, all different types of things that you would normally have in your artisan's bench. They did say they may still keep some items in the artisan's bench, but they had not decided what yet, so that part of the decision hasn't been made yet. But boy, is this going to make it easier for all of us. So in other words, if you want to make a bed, there's going to be a category for beds, and it's going to show all the beds that you have already purchased or owned through your DLCs. Yeah, they will show up there. So pretty nice. And again, this only includes the items that you already own. And then there's going to be a change in your followers and thralls. Now, thralls' HPs are going to be nerfed drastically from what I understand. But you can increase their stats by your attributes, increasing your attributes in authority. Yeah. So that there wasn't too much detail on that other than that, and they really didn't show you too much of the authority perks. So we'll have to be looking at that. But that sounds feasible or right to me, because they didn't want thralls to be the star of the show, as they referred to it. They want you to be the star of the show. So, those tweaks in the thralls in the end is going to be a good thing, because I've often complained about that. They make you play the game that way because the thralls are so much more powerful than you are. And this is a great way to change that. Now your thralls aren't going to be any more powerful than you actually, or what your attributes in authority are. So I kind of like the way they handled that, really. So, and there will also be multiple thralls that will follow you. Yeah, they didn't say how many, but I did notice that there was one perk that said you can now have an additional follower. So maybe that means just 2 now. I don't know. We'll see. That'll be exciting to see. And then there's a couple of other little small things in there. But to me, it wasn't small. And I'm sure all you builders there, it's not going to be small. And this is that grass will no longer show up through your building pieces. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. That used to annoy me so much, because I would have to make a foundation higher than I really wanted it to be, because I didn't want the grass to show through. Yeah. And that used to ruin a lot of building ideas for me. So I am really glad that they did that. I really am. And they also, what's the other thing that they, there will be, changes in mounted horse battle. Now, I didn't do a lot of that, so I'm not too much in touch with this. But there's going to be more of a stamina cost for using the lance, and other changes to it. The lance, I guess, is now going to work more like a power shot. And they said they did that because lances were too powerful. You could just repeatedly hit a person, and like 10 times in a row, and it was very hard to get away from that. So that's what they did, changed it to working more like a power shot, which sounds, right to me. So they did some tweaks to weapons and changes to building health. I guess there's going to be more building health the higher the tier that you go. And there's also going to be increased damage of fire orbs, which is really kind of nice, because in my opinion, they never did do enough damage. Yeah, I thought they should do a lot more than they did. And one of the other nice perks for you builders out there is that you can turn off building stability. Yeah, so you can build into infinity without having support, which is awesome. That's very awesome. So no more holes in your ceilings because of stability. Yeah, very, very nice. So, yeah, guys, this is supposed to release in the third quarter of this year. So that's not too far off. That's from July to September, I believe. So, very, very exciting, especially if it comes like in August, right in the middle of that. I doubt it. They've still got a lot of tweaking to do. They're waiting for feedback, I'm sure, on a lot of this. So, yeah, my overall take on this update of Conan Exiles is extremely positive, and I can't wait for it to come out, really. In my opinion, Funcom did an outstanding job of staying true to the Conan lore with its sorcery and everything. It's everything I really hoped it could be. Yeah, I was really concerned about the sorcery, what direction that would take, but they did a fantastic job, in my opinion. Other changes within the game, all improvements in the gameplay, especially the attributes makeover. That's all awesome. Now, I know it took a lot of time and money to make this kind of massive update. So, would I support some Funcom by buying the Battle Pass? Yeah, sure, I would. Yeah. I've spent the last few days since 3.0 came out and to digest what it really means. And you know what? My final conclusion, bottom line, Funcom needs to make money in order to continue bringing us new content. End of story. Battle Pass was their choice. There are still some details missing, such as cost, and nothing is carved in stone yet. So based on this, I can't really make a glowing recommendation for the Battle Pass. But yeah, they just sound sincere in their efforts to not exploit and money grab. So I really hope this all works out. And as I said, will I support Funcom by buying the battle pass? Sure. As long as I feel they're being fair to their fans and not just trying to nickel and dime us. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a longtime fan of Conan. I have bought 3 games, 2 for my PCs for 2 different accounts, Steam accounts, and 1 for my PlayStation 4. I have all the DLCs and then some because I had to buy some extra ones for my PC. And then my whole YouTube channel is primarily based on Conan Exile game. Yeah. I would never call myself an expert in the game, but it's because it's always growing and changing. So you're always learning something about this game. And I like that about this game. I love that about this game. So having said all that, if I could speak to someone at Funcom, Funcom, thank you for this totally awesome game that has given me literally years of enjoyment despite all its trials and tribulations. Yeah, thank you for all your efforts in this new update. It is simply awesome, and the sorcery did not disappoint. Your vision for Conan in the future has me even more excited for the game. Yeah, you guys have a deep appreciation for the Conan universe, and I have to trust that you will remain fair and just to your loyal fans who support you when going forward with the Battle Pass. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all for listening to my ramblings about 3.0. I have struggled with it, and mostly the Battle Pass, of course. The rest of it, I am just absolutely in love with and can't wait for. So, again, thank you all for listening, and until next time, GG out.